So if you're a mad scientist, the other thing you have to do with anything new is to take it to pieces. So on the main box, the plastic base just clips in, so you can easily pry it off with your fingernail and a small screwdriver. In fact, it hasn't even gouged the case, it came off that easily. That reveals the underside of the circuit board, which isn't very interesting. So then I took out the screws. There's provision for 4 screws, but only 3 were fitted. I'll put 4 in because when I reassemble it, because the heat sink will probably make better contact then. So let's take a look at the main circuit board. We've got the main processor here with the heat sink on it, which makes contact with this thermal pad and rough piece of metal with some nasty swarf floating around in the lid of the box. We then have some memory chips soldered on, so they're not easily upgraded. This is the 64GB model, but you can't easily change those. You can see there's 4 extra memory chips on the back. There's another Queenston chip there, obviously a takeoff of Kingston. Haha. What else have we got? So at the front of the case we've got a display which normally shows the time or boot when you're booting up, some annunciators for telling you various things like internet connections, whether you're playing media. Interesting, there's provision for an alternative component behind that, and I've seen some videos where instead of having the display it just has something like a couple of LEDs on the front, like maybe a red or green phone or on standby. So that could be fitted instead of the display. Here we've got the infrared receiver. We've got an antennae there, probably for the wireless internet. We've got the micro SD card slot, the 2 USB sockets. Interestingly, there were versions available which had a USB 3. These are both USB 2. Then on this side we've got the power inlet, 5 volts power I think that is. The HDMI connector, the wired internet connector, and then this jack socket. That says CVBS by it, which would indicate to me that it's got video on it as well as audio. It's probably may well be a 4-pole jack socket. Behind that there's a push button which says U-boot, and that's for flashing the operating system. I think it does talk about that in the manual. You push something in through the jack to activate that button. Then there are a few other mystery bits of the board that aren't used. There's quite a big chip area there that's not populated. Here we've got ground TX and RX. That could be for something like digital audio connection maybe, I don't know. And there's another chip which isn't there. So there's obviously a few options you can have.